Weather forecast. Keep on sleeping. So this is sort of a continuation from the journey we started, well, long time ago. I can still remember how the music used to. Yes. So there is one video made in August 2019. So I'll make a brief review. This was made last video in 1935, 7:35, 29th of August 2019, while I was in Holland, in the Netherlands, in Duiven, and now making another one for me, for you, for me, for you. Interestingly, the timings, let's see what more anecdotes, since we've got probably an hour or two of a journey. I'll see where it goes, where it leads. Yeah, maybe saying goodbye to the cross of planning for the sharp-eyed ones, where the sun was on the duality side, 4037, and where we're on the transformation mutation side of the focused skills. And both, yeah, now more the energy coming through me of let's see what message will be transmitted. And I'll start by a brief movement through what perhaps is already known to you if you have watched the previous video. If not, then not. Strategy nor authority. Yeah, back then I was more in this message. So maybe it's already within your observation, your experience, the waiting, and how the body makes decisions, how things simply happen. Yeah, it's just an extension to explain how things anyway happen. Yeah, this is the strategy in authority, or don't move the movement, as I refer from the yoga world. It started when I was in Duiven, as I mentioned back then in the video, from just sitting down one evening and just writing in Hebrew the channels that are going to be for about 2-3 days and more. And what I've observed, I started sharing, created a presentation, and yeah, different timings while I was in the shop in Holland. Well, basically the recording was made at my temporary home back then in Duiven, but while we had this I don't know meditation shop. Yeah, so there were still a couple of more months for this shop in Arnhem. Yeah, beautiful experience. One time I'll just simply again talk about this amazing experience, where actually last year I talked to you about individuality ahead, the individual duality. The 1, 2, let's go. Sign. This is my chart. Again, brief overview of last time. The 198 days approximately of the channel of awareness. That yeah, now we have moved on from these 198 days. There's gonna be return a bit to that later. We're gonna see it, but there was from 14th, 15th of May this energy, and there's gonna come as well a time that I haven't put it here, but somewhere 2022, the ability to express that, this long-term individuality conditioning field of awareness. Previous video, you can watch it. Okay, I'll probably share a link somewhere to that. And the channel of openness, so the manifestation of awareness, the ability to express them emotionally, to express awareness on the individual level. Yeah, from end of July until beginning of October 2020, and we've passed also that. And the journey through quarters. Yeah, I started talking about the mandala, also letting you know of this nice link to watch the planets, also aligned with the zodiac. I haven't created a new version of that. That was back then. The movement from quarter of duality. You can watch again the previous video. So 5th of August to 6th of November, quarter of duality. The channels we've had, skipping all of them, yes. Since it's in the previous video, quarter of mutation, yeah, 6th of November 2019 to 3rd of February, you move through the wheel, where we are now again in the death period, exploring one's convictions and the channels that were conditioning us last year. 3rd of February, 3rd of May 2020, quarter of initiation, mind, yeah, the higher self, lower self, ego, and the movement we had through this quarter, moving to quarter of civilization, form, 3rd of May, 5th of August 2020, yes, and the channels we've explored there, where we've entered in the quarter of civilization, yeah, bringing awareness into civilization, a potential one, the pressure to think and to relieve the ignorance within one's own mind, not expressing it, but within one's own mind. Yeah, no movement to the throat. And joining with the openness, the expression of throat, of individual manifestation, of emotions, moving things forward through manifesting, again, clear emotion, peace, unclear anger, the movement between them. And again, strategy in inner authority. Yes. So, time to wake up. Okay, shall we continue? You've got everything stored on the blank page, on your minds. Ready? 2020. Yeah, we're still in 2020. Did you wake up? Waking up at your own pace, at your own timing. I don't know, I'm presenting it again. Yeah, the movement towards the knowing not knowing, with the constant emphasis of the not knowing, actually, that's inherent in the individual. Yes? So I'll explore, there is still a movement ahead of us, the journey through quarters of individuality. Yeah? And the sign of I don't know, even when it seems I know. I don't know, and this 2020, a fantastic reminder of that. If you're unable to get lost successfully, it will be challenging to get lost successfully. The journey through quarters of 2021. Now I started this time from quarter of mutation, transformation, death. You can go back to the beginning of this video, the transits now. Yeah. Moving through the quarter of mutation. Yeah. Gate 9 in the sun. We're now 29th of November, Sunday, 2048, 8:48, 8:49 p.m. Yeah. And we'll see what this journey brings to us, what already we passed a couple of weeks in this sleeping process, awakening process, or awakening pulses. Yes. So this time a little bit different. Same but different. Yeah. And I'm recording it almost as with watching with you, just to see what's coming up. So we've passed by the pressure to think. Yeah. Pressure to think. And we will move from the upper pressure, the mental airy pressure, to the earth moving, shaking pressure of the root. Yeah, that's gonna be the movement in our conditioning field. There are a bit of ego times, but mostly no ego times, no material. It's not gonna be the thing, although it seems to be the thing. Again, different conditioning fields. Yes? And we moved through, and I didn't look again at the moon conditioning, the short term 10 hours, 11 hours span of focused conditioning, which has its own impact. I would say dramatic impact, but okay, its own impact, its own focusing of the energy of the moon, especially through long-term planets conditioning, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and also Jupiter and Saturn, where they are fixed, the moon is going to move and create this short-term conditioning. So I haven't addressed this in this video as well as in the previous one. Only ones that are 2-3 days and more, 5 and more and more. There are some more. And we move through conditioning of awareness. Yeah, if we begin from the top left, condition of awareness, simply on its own, thinking inside our heads. Yeah. Listening to the sound and waiting for the sound to reveal its own ignorance. Oh, the talkative mind in that period. And I also have not brought in the dates. Yeah. If you like, I can send you the PDF itself, or a PDF with the dates. You can see this conditioning, or if you have access to the software. And basically we move to the period where there was expression of this awareness, the ability to structure it successfully or not as an individual and bring your knowing, your mental knowing outside. Moving from there, yeah, to the experience of thought, whether they can be well transmitted to the tribe, whether the awareness, the thought. Yeah, but it's important to notice that when it's not connected to the throat, it's not about expression so much, or at all. There is an inclination of the channel of awareness to meet the I know, I don't know voice, the structuring. there's an inclination of the channel of surrender, splint to the ego, to meet the 45, the 2145, and express money. Whether it's surrender to the now, or there are other sides there that moving to the tribal throat. But basically, this is the experience, mentally or physically, depends on the conditioning, body, personality. Here are all the planets conditioning for the thoughts to stream like that, to stream on, are we selling something? Are we able to transmit our message through the tribe in the new awareness? And these are kind of conflicting, non-communicative energies, individual with tribe. And we move on forward to awareness of inspiration, where actually the language is pretty much the same. It's more a close relative to the knowing, to the structuring. We're on the fourth plate, top left, so awareness of inspiration, but again, expressing here not this quality of mind, but quality of direction from the G. Channel of inspiration means channel of awareness. And we've gone through these conditioning fields. Whatever you noted inside of you, whatever children are born with these energies. An awareness within the constellation of the charisma. So 3 different individual expression received their conditioning field. I wouldn't say necessarily focused field, because that's maybe more of the moon's job, but really depending on the planet's, specific planet's conditioning. But then yet again, focusing on that planet's energy. So through this awareness, we've moved to 3 different of individual expressions. The structuring, the inspiration, the manifestation in response, where awareness must become deeds. And we'll touch it later as well again. Interestingly enough, where awareness must become deeds. And again, the difference between the language of the mind, as an observer of the world, and the body from the sacral. But still, this is in the children born with this energy in the body rather than the conditioning field of our own minds. And then moving out of this field of the awareness conditioning of charisma, and the thinker, the relieving of ignorance through awareness, through constant acoustic pressure in our own minds to think, and the ability to experience or learn the at least 3 different voices. The 3 different individual voices of expression, of manifestation of anxiety, as in potential awareness to structure from anxiety, or to structure from direction. To inspire from direction. Whether the direction is inspiring. So we try to express. The inclination is to express in channel of inspiration, an inspiring direction, or the expression of life force, movement, energy, and how different the sacral, the G, and the Ajna are from each other. And then, we said goodbye to this long-term 190 days channel of awareness conditioning field, moving to the surrender. Yeah. We will move more and more towards there, where we are now actually, the conditioning field. So simply in our mind's pattern, the conditioning, whether we are healthy as an egoistic tribe trying to earn money and transmit the message, channel of surrender, moving to channel of openness, but without the field of conditioning of awareness where we had before. Yeah. So the second from the bottom, from the left side, channel of openness, to be able to express individually, to manifest individual emotionality in its own spiking timing. So individuality ahead, still plenty of individual conditioning, channel of mutation, where it's again not about expression, but experience of two pressured motors within us, not coming necessarily to expression. Again, depending on each individual configuration, on your design, whether it moves to the throat this way or the other. It may move strangely, not through individual configuration. Yeah, it's gonna feel awkward, potentially. Yeah. And then moving at the from the channel to the channel of synthesis, yeah, being sensitive to the tribe's needs or not, from a pressured, motored energy. Yeah. And then coming back again in the last two plates from the right bottom side of awareness again. And awareness, yeah. So again, this airy mind to think about new things. Yeah. Again, the conversation itself can be very mundane or banal, the acoustic plane. Don't expect anything transcendent. Yeah. And bringing awareness to the sensitivity of the tribe, to this mutative tribal energy. Some kind of keynotes there, 49, codon, histidine, the change, the mutation that is impacting the 49 in this story through the 55. Yeah, the mutation actually happening in the 55th gate, but through this codon groups, the histidine impacting also the 49 and the break of the bargain with God. Yeah, maybe I'll talk about it. It's just a story, anyways. And moving to the awareness, to thinking, yeah, an individual thinking energy, but within the collective, the last plate from the right, of the collective recognition of emotions, of feelings, actually, well, to be precise with the keynoting. The drive, the physical drive to have a new experience, not to manifest it. Yeah, that's the challenge, where sometimes energies are within us, but they're not connected to the throat. It's like the inclination is to move it to manifestation. So this was the quarter of transformation. Yeah, you can go back and track the channels there, see what you know, what you've experienced. Looking forward to some aspects, because we're still in the quarter. Yeah, we're in 29th of November. And quarter of initiation, mind, ego, and G energy. Yeah, again, as a dominant theme with its attributes of emotionality, 2nd of February to 4th of May 2021. Yeah, and I'm continuing, and you can watch again the video, the slides regarding 2020 and what energy it brought. As again, I'm doing it and through this individuality ahead. And it's enjoying in a way if people are looking, but for me it tells the story for what I see. At least one layer of a filter. So quarter of initiation. What is the mind gonna be initiated again? Conditioning field. You've got your own design in this matrix. So moving from quarter of transformation, we're going to end it with awareness of recognition of feeling. So to think about the unknown, again, left side up from the top left. The pressure to recognize the feeling of an individual within the global collective context, in order that we will have so-called a past to share, moving then to simply recognition of feelings, without the awareness to think the unknown. Then the pressure will change again. There will be probably Saturn and a movement there, Saturn and Jupiter, quarter of mind 2021. So the movement to this channel of synthesis again. So if the pressure was to share in the channel of recognition of feelings for the sake of new human experience, third plate from the top left, gonna be the channel of synthesis of supporting the tribe needs and the conditioning field of that. So the energy is going to be focused on that for a specific, it can be 2 days or 10 days. I haven't marked it here. I leave it for your own, whether curiosity or willingness to have a look at that. And coming back again from the movement. So this time I did create the coming back again. So it's going to be sort of a movement from recognition of feelings, synthesis, again recognition of feelings. Yeah. Kind of this, how the pressure of emotionality, the play between the tribe needs and the collective requirement for a new experience, and totally different energies. Sometimes you go for a new experience, you don't give a damn, so-called, if you've got enough resources within the tribe. What can happen, interestingly enough, through sexuality and having children, and that, hey, I want a new experience, so I'm gonna have a baby. Well, that's also a gene story, but and the movement to this awareness combined as a conditioning field of pressured emotionality, where individuality is so-called almost left aside. I say almost because in Neptune it's still going to be in gate 22. Yeah. But the movement back to the channel of synthesis after the recognition of feeling will have, the collective human experience will have to deal with, okay, there's a pressure for new experience, but it has to come within the tribal context and vice versa. Tribal needs will have to accompany a new human experience. These emotional pressures mutative. So moving to the channel of synthesis again on its own. But again, it's gonna be mixed, because I'm not talking about the attributes of all the gates, and it's gonna impact how these energies are experienced. Moving to the bottom line of the channel of community, every time in this year, in the quarter of initiation, so the 37th gate, family, the sun. And it's gonna complete the stream of sensitivity of the tribal needs. The tribal needs to have a community. So the impact of the last 400 years and the so-called this last couple of years until 2027, where we're moving more towards individuality. And it's interesting, okay, we're gonna have the channel of awareness impacting us on the individual side, but Actually, February to May 2021, more of the energies from the other sides, where again awareness still gonna be there, but tribe and the emotional part of the tribe. And moving again to channel of awareness on its own, after the bargain of community, which is going to be an interesting experience of short term meaning it's not in your design. So even 5 days or 10 days, if it seems a long conditioning field of a channel, still perhaps not enough time to have a community. And then moving to awareness on its own, coming back to this energy that was with us in for 198 days, couple of months before, and then awareness moving to the third plate from the bottom left. Awareness within the tribe, pressure for needs. Whatever you may decide, most people or some people say, okay, house or food, house, touch, tribal touch. Moving to this, very interesting, if we had a completion of the stream of sensitivity that is not about expression, that's been lassoed or like catching the bull through money, through a channel of money, but it collects not just the stream of sensitivity 1949 40 37, but also the other side, the stream of instincts, the splenic side of the ego circuit. But if we're gonna look at the fourth plate from the bottom left, that's where I start the journey. So we're in awareness within the synthesis to express the collective transitoriness. Okay, we've had the recognition of feelings, the pressure for a new experience. Now let's express it. Okay, and if it's not for emotional clarity, the experience might bring expectation mixed with the anger, with the theme of the manifester. So the 3536 that's here to express the stream of feelings, the human experiential way for simply adding to new experience, new, different. But different in the collective aspect, not the individual unique one. And going with it together. So we're going to have the awareness, three different energies, and you might experience this. They're not speaking the same language. One is looking for mental empowerment, the awareness. One is looking to support through the tribe pressured needs, the channel of synthesis. And one is looking to simply express emotionality of a collective new experience. So good luck with that. And then we're going to the last two. So the synthesis of transitoriness. How the pressure for a new experience, pressure for expressed new experience is going to be in the tribal context. Well, the pressure and beginning that emotionally, but the expression is going to be of a new collective experience within the tribe. Again, nice preparation for 2027. And finishing that with the synthesis on its own. Channel of synthesis. It's going to be connected there to gate 37, almost the entire stream of sensitivity of the tribal pressured emotional energy up to where it meets the ego before it's being prepared to be expressed as money, education, whatever money brings, not just the sum of it, what money actually moves. And we're going to continue in this journey of the quarter of mind through coming back again from synthesis alone to again the synthesis or being sensitive to the tribe's needs within expressing the jack of all trades. Yeah, different keynotes of so expressing collective human experience, manifesting that, manifesting it in progress. And basically the tribe is looking to go out to the throat through money, through gathering together. So not looking to say, okay, I have experience. No, do I have or do I don't, or do I not have? So it's gonna have to deal with this conditioning field. And then moving to what the tribe actually knows, which is expression of money, after we decided who sits at the table through the channel of synthesis, but tinged with, again, this manifestation of human experience. So two manifesting energies, the money from the ego, and, well, emotionality is mostly more dominant than that. Things are being gathered around perhaps emotionality. If we can look at our buying, purchasing, selling phenomena, mainly it's like if the economy stops, life stops. It doesn't happen like that. It's just in the human context, again, mainly in our last 400 years. So we're going to move to the ego, top left, a second, and then money within the tribal context, and a short term, it's going to be a short term, but I still put it there, the fork on the road where the ego, okay, do I go in the normal ego path of tribal and support and money for education, or do I move out to be initiated? This is going to be interesting conditioning field, because we're in the quarter of mind, which has the theme of initiation. So going out from community where the individual has a chance to move later to awakening. Here it's not. It's basically perhaps even bringing back the initiated energy of the awakened path inside the money. So kind of new individual energy based on a universal love within the money context. Material resources. Again, and we're still pressured by the synthesis. And then the money is going to move out and we're going to be left with just initiation. Again, within still the synthesis is there. Going to be what I've looked from memory, at least it's Saturn and the movement between the 19 and the 49 on the wheel, where they are very close to one another. So Saturn and Jupiter and Saturn are going to be in this conditioning field. So initiating synthesis, the fourth plate from the top left, and moving again to synthesis on its own. After the ego, it was there, the individual material energy. Also interesting to think about in that context of the individual being driven to move from the lower plane of material to the higher plane of self. It's not yet self-love, it's universal love, but catching it to move towards self-love, the gate 10, and to the expression of the now. And landing back again in channel of synthesis, this mutation happening in the tribal emotionality, and within all emotionality, except from the human experiential way, where this is again just for me, after I took in all these energies, what to do in my design context. It's simply a story, it's not a knowing. I'll leave it to our who is a knowing. For me, it's simply another collective story. What to do? I have my own knowing, by the way. You look at my chart again at the end of these slides. And the channel of mind is standing on its own. So no pressure for needs. It's just, okay, we have or we don't have. And if we have, it's okay. Go to rest, baby. That's what the money says. Why are we having these driven themes to earn money so we can actually rest through the ego. But it's basically not many people's inclination, this energy to make money and rest after they made the money. Live by your design, live by your own awareness. And moving to the bottom part, so mutation energy coming back again. Yeah. It's there 3 times, the 3 bottom plates from the left, but with different contexts, where there is actually the expression of openness um, to express individual emotions, spiking one, empowering ones. Often called, in my experience, individuality is often inspiring. Yeah, very close between empowering and inspiring. But so the mutation, the energy to simply be, to check your patience with melancholy and depression. Yeah, all this individual chemistry that brings melancholy, and in the context of channel of mutation, the 360 bring, which is the format energy for the whole. They're formatting the whole individual chemistry towards melancholy, towards pulse. Things just happen in their own time. Yeah. And the conditioning field there of mutative preservation, mutative custodianship. Yeah, the spleen, after a while, it's mostly absent from the conditioning field, from the global conditioning field. As we see in this progress, there is more of emotionality and throat. Yeah, this movement between expression, manifesting, yeah, attracting attention in different ways, and the emotionality involved in that, the tribal and the collective. And here it's again, so as I said, the mutative energy for custodianship. So within the expression of individual emotionality, manifesting ones, poetical ones, cautious ones, and the different energy where mutation and openness have the keynote of empowering, and the melancholy incline within that, so intrinsic. But the preservation, the tribal one, speaks completely different energy. And then again, then moving interestingly to 3 different sacral energies, where the focused and attention is on work, and 3 different kinds of work. The mutative availability of pressured mutative individual energy, channel of mutation, to the awareness of a spleen, bringing it for the sake of support for custodianship, channel of preservation, 2750, and the channel of rhythm. So 3 different ways to be conditioned to work and be available. Now you might take it from some of the keynotes to your own design, but that's going to be the conditioning fields on our mind, the layer, trying to again teach us something, bringing us with these people, with this energy around us, trying to get us caught in the mind looking through these lenses rather than our own. Again, the fluctuation is between this and that. In order to learn about the very interesting moving energies, in order to also learn who we are. And here, so the channel of rhythm, being in this rhythm to work. This tantric energy, as Ram calls this energy, the collective logical part of availability. Being in the flow or not. So being in the flow in order to take custody over the mutation happening. And then moving again to the availability, the collective one, solely. The being in the flow or not. and then ending in the right plate, top at the bottom right plate of the channel of concentration, where the availability, same language of sharing a logic within the energy. There is a logic within the flow. Even if the chaos is logic, or whatever you might try to look at the patterns within the movement. So here is the format energy of the concentration, and the same language as the channel of rhythm, basically sharing logical patterns. And here is the ability to stay with that pattern, not just be in the flow, but stay with it. So quarter of mind, and we move to the quarter of form, of civilization, of manifestation and expression. Mainly manifestation, if it's these manifester so-called energies from emotionality, motor based. This is the description of if it's a manifesting energy, or expressive one if it's from a non-motor. Yeah, where it's all coming, I don't know if down to say or up to the throat. 4th of May, 6th to 6th of August 2021. And we're coming back again. Yeah, there are breaks in between. In these recordings, in the transits, where there's no global conditioning field. I just focus on the global conditioning. And we're coming back again to the synthesis of transitoriness, where the pressure is for tribal sensitivity needs, who should be around the table. Yeah. But moving to expression in the throat of a collective new experience, the crisis based in experience based, so the different energies between support and sharing, different keynotes, and moving to inspiring concentration, being determined, yeah, to concentrate, to sit still in action, in inaction, yeah. But I don't know if to say wanting, it's not so much of the desire of the individual, it simply pulsates to express inspiration as direction is inspiration, or inspiration as direction. This 8-1, the G to the throat. And moving to the structuring, the expression. Yeah. Now, the channel of structuring, expression of anxiety, awareness-based energy of the individual. After all, the time of the channel of awareness, thinking it in our own minds, own heads, or head to ajna, of awareness, the ability potentially to experience explaining things in a rational, individual, structured way, efficiently, whether it's again empowering or disempowering. Whether the individual's energy moves inside the collective, ability to empower, or being rejected, disempower, and structuring also moving forward to transitoriness, to collective experiences. Yeah. So being able to experience the power that emotionality has over the mind, the power of nervousness to overtake or overthrow mental clarity when emotionality strikes. And then moving to from the top, the 5th plate, emoting, the surprising, beating, pressured emotionality, where there's also the mutation happening in the 55th gate. So also this kind of death energy to simply, well, I don't know if you say be melancholy or not, because it's not always like that. It's also going out of melancholy period. Yeah. But this potential darkness there. Yeah. And the pressure, these two motors still meet with this so-called emotionality that is not yet, well, an adult, moving through us, creating its havoc. And in the individual context, it's in spikes. Yeah. So, I don't have to say exploring that necessarily, but experiencing these individual energies and the difference between when these energies gonna come, channel of emoting, to the energies we've spoken before, the tribal needs through sensitivity, through synthesis, the collective recognition of feelings, to share the feelings of collectively, up to expressing them in the throat, the changing experience expectation. Here it's about emoting. Am I able to empower you with my pressured emotionality, or not able to empower you? So I don't know. I don't want to have any contact with you. Individual going solo on his own, not like in the tribe. Hey, it's not about melancholy. You're gonna eat with us, and if not, you're not part of the tribe. We're gonna have sort of similar house, similar clothes, and your individuality is different, or the pressure for new experience in the collective. Yeah, so emotionality of individual, very different. And coming back again to the 35-36, possibly already, I'm not sure, the movement to Neptune in the 36 gate, but well, I don't have dates, so I'll skip it at the time. But the top right plate, yeah, the channel of transitoriness coming back again to manifest new experience, to express it. And again, when these energies are on their own, okay, you're gonna be, there's a potential to more focus on that, rather when there are multiple energies and mixed with each other. Again, no better, no worse, just how the energy is experienced. And if we continue from the transitoriness, which I've spoken already, moving to the charisma of transitoriness, so two different energies, then emotionality overpowers the sacral, but still the throat, attracting attention through availability to work and be busy in the now and moving towards this individuality. Soon. Slide is the presentation is not over yet. Not just this presentation, but presentation of individuality. So these two energies of self-empowerment and hey, there's still a collective experience to share, and how they collaborate or work together. Interesting to look at that. And the movement from there to going back to channel of rhythm. And separated energies, where one is availability to have or to magnet ourselves along, or I don't know if along, but through humane love. Yeah, the sacral to the G. Not here. It's not about the expression of it through logical pattern, because the expression is emotionality, collective one, crises and progressing through crises. Yes, so we have new experience to say, hey, we've been there, done that. We can learn from this and that collectively. Yes, there is sharing, but future and past, so-called, not necessarily meet, perhaps only through the mediator of individuality in the now. And moving on to, again, it's interesting to see, we went through that before, through rhythm, and then coming in the programming, concentration. So two different types of works around the sacral. One is through the humane love, the love of humanity or hate of humanity of gate 15, and here it's the pressured root to concentrate, to be available to concentrate, to be pressured to be available to concentrate. Yeah? And still, emotionality overpowers all these energies, trying to manifest new experience. And then having to concentrate on its own. Yeah. The logical energy can stand on its own, being experienced like that. And coming back again, last two plates, so one before the last, moving, yeah, from left to right. So again, channel of emoting, and the individual emoting stream, the romantic stream, acoustic stream, and ending that part with the awareness coming back again. So pressure, physical one moving towards emotionality, and here mental pressure as well moving towards, and the lessons of where emotionality is still motorized and not the full awareness, but kind of a childlike underdevelopment, and the mind that actually has this potential mental clarity and experience these energies. You may be aware, you may be not, just putting out the story. And still continuing. Yeah. So coming back to synthesis of transitoriness, or transitoriness within the synthesis, top left, going forward to awareness with curiosity. So awareness with curiosity and being down, pressurized emotionally as an individual. And on the mental plane, the expression is very different of curiosity that doesn't speak awareness. It wants to resolve things from the past. Yeah. To realize things from the past. While awareness just tries to relieve ignorance through acoustic plane. So again, energies meet, and going back to awareness. Yeah. So a lot of emotionality out there coming in these periods, expression manifesting throughout, trying to attract attention. Be aware of the energies around you. Yeah? Moving to awareness, as I said, and continuing to transitoriness, and transitoriness again with concentration. Yeah. All the keynotes kind of watching what the fluctuation is doing to you, where you try to attract attention with new experiences, with your nervousness, whether you're suddenly available to concentrate. And again, these energies are going to move them through us. So they do their job in being on the transit field. It's not like avoiding them. It's just being okay with them passing by, like giving us a brief overview of life and death. Yeah. Going back to concentration on its own, so we see that there is logical energy here, being available to sit down more still, yeah, the still mountain, in order to establish a logical pattern. Going back to emoting, the individual emotionality, back to concentration, and back to individual emoting, back to concentration, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah. Nice movement fluctuating there between concentration and emoting, ending on the last part with recognition of feelings. Yeah, so being pressured again, we talked about it. And here, interestingly, almost coming to be expressed on the throat, but it will have its share. Okay, last part. We are now in November 29th, and here, quarter of duality, relationships. Yeah. Body and mind. 6th of August to 6th of November 2021. I haven't mentioned it before, but quarter of, well, in previous recordings I have, but quarter of initiation, mind. Yeah, it was the keynote. Quarter of form, quarter of civilization. And here the relationship within you between mind and form, mind and body. Yeah. In a way, interestingly enough, can be said spirit and body. Yeah. As well. Almost seemingly sometimes might be the same, but not, but is. Again, this is just a story, folks. 6th of August to 6th of November, quarter of duality. Okay, the synthesis of transitoriness, we've talked about it, continuing to new channels, the mating focused on reproduction, where the availability of emotionality, yeah? Not the pressured emotionality, but availability of emotionality, work. Yeah? It's almost like I would laugh and say sex is work. No, there's action there in order to have children. But also, again, new projects and so on and so forth. So still around emotionality and talking the same language of support, although the defense circuit and the ego circuit, so two different ones, but basically, yeah, the synthesis is trying to move towards the community in order as well to rest after the bargain's been established, while intimacy and mating, reproduction is still there, still there, still there. Yeah, where the sacral is a tremendous power, again, meeting emotionality, going back to synthesis on its own, the tribal needs, and the tribal need after there is, yeah, what are resources level pressured, what are needs after we have babies, and then moving to a new energy of channel of discovery, sacral to the G, so not being available to mating, but to be in the right place at the right time for the sake of the experience, or not being in the right place at the right time, but the attraction field of the love of the body, yeah, and saying yes to that love of the body, or saying no, or the hate of the body, for the sake of new collective experiences eventually. Yeah. So the availability to be magnetized, interestingly enough, to connect between the love of the body to the experiential way, where it can be on the sexual context, not only. Yeah. And yeah, also new energy is the abstract energy. Yeah, so the thinking we had so far, the awareness, individual acoustic plane, here is the energy to think over the past through images, yeah, going through our minds, our heads, over the images to trying to make sense of these images, and the channel of the talent after that, top right, the talent with the abstract, so trying to establish, being skillful in sort of an aware pattern from the image we thought about from the past, and then moving to the design of the channel of the talent of the brain wave of the wavelength, and the channel of mating. So coming back again, the mating season, the sacral, the availability to meet emotionality, and emotionality disrupting availability through nervousness. Yeah, and all of that with the, again, awareness to express in the now and attract attention through skills. Yeah, we've had the collective side, the abstract collective side for some time, and here we're coming back to the logical part, and then the channel of community within this movement now to the 40th gate. After we started quarter of initiation, a channel of community coming back again, trying to establish a bargain within the relationship. If before it was within the mind 6 months before, so in February, here in August it's going to be for the sake of relationship mainly, and finishing with a move, well, not finishing yet, but moving towards the so-called individuality ahead. Yeah, so this year, coming shortly, channel of charisma, being busy where awareness must become deeds. And yes, after an hour and a bit more than 5 minutes, the channel of charisma, the energy that is really motivating my body, determining my body's movement, and the movement between saying things and simply moving. And this is more about moving. With me, it's tinged with a mental plane, so it can come more acoustically, but it's really about being busy in one's movement. Simply the availability to work in the now, meaning not in the context of you have a job, you're just doing something in that now. Yeah. Not in the financial tribal context. And that's the energy we're moving towards. And the nodes are gonna enter, yeah, in 5th of September 2021, and they're gonna be there until 19th of January 2022. So perhaps next year I'll make another recording, who knows. But 136 days, we've had the 198 days of awareness. And here it's gonna be interesting how, because interestingly the name is where awareness must become deeds. Basically the potential also awareness to think of the unknown, of ignorant, of not just moving, but moving within an aware context. But basically I can tell you from experience, movement doesn't care about all of this stuff. It just moves. Yeah. And the 2034 as a power is just about that. And the south node is about moving towards the now. Yeah. Experiencing, attracting attention, self-empowering in whatever you do in the now. It's so-called if you like it or not. In the individual context, and in the times where it doesn't care of the tribe and it has to handle with that, or with the collective experiences or skills or all of that stuff, and the power from the past, yeah, the survival power, not the awareness of it, but the power that also if you're in movement you're okay in the now. What will be the future? Okay, if you're simply moving, then there's no problem. How shall we about learning from the past? If you're moving, you're moving. Okay, worst case, you die. So this individuality ahead after 198 days, 14th, 15th of May 2020 to 28th November 2020, channel of awareness. Here it's 136 days of this busy doing. I am in the now, and this is gonna be the stage where we're gonna be distracted by this is the thing to see, this is the thing to experience, the nodes bringing us along our trajectory. So and all these people again moving, also the babies born on these times, in these times. So yeah, this is kind of, maybe one time I'll just focus on this, but the 2034, And interestingly, I will definitely look about. Well, I don't know what will come. I'm now recording, so I'm already looking into the future from the now. But yeah, interesting to see how we had the pressure to think. This is more of an energy that is very familiar to me, and I see already experience this edginess where it brings to the surrounding when I'm there, and also when it's in the conditioning field. And moving forward with that, continuing from where we stopped, yeah, and continuing in the quarter of duality. So there's gonna be here, and I put it in another screen since charisma, charisma, charisma. So whenever, and we see it here, so it's starting with charisma, but moving to the 57 entering, so it's going to be channel of power and the penetrative awareness, the brainwave, the integration, and the individual meeting there. Okay, there's no self-love or so-called surviving for oneself, the self-love attracting this along the trajectory, the movement, but basically I know I am now, and that's what's important. Then moving back again to charisma on its own, and to charisma with the beat. So the energy to move. Again, if one is for self-empowerment, the beat, the direction, the driver, yeah, moving along our trajectory in an unknown, I don't know, individuality ahead. The 214 emphasizes that. And the individual that's available to work for so-called what he likes. It's not tribal support, it's not in the collective sharing. And embracing the I don't know. Yeah? And okay, so is this the direction? That's the direction. In the now. Channel of the beat. Yeah. And the beating within the survival context. Yeah. Interesting, because basically the movement will be to express this, going back again after the beat within the charisma, the beat again within the power to be charismatic through penetrative awareness, yeah, and driving along that trajectory through insight. So I don't know. It's just around the corner, yeah. And the channel of beat moving out, we're already entering previously I believe, yeah, a quarter of civilization, quarter of civilization in Neptune, in gate 2. Not sure of the exact date, somewhere mid 21. Just out of curiosity, somewhere there. Okay, we'll follow along this trajectory. But so anyway, going back to the charisma and top left, after the beat is moving out, the keeper of keys through moving, responding to unknown direction, but having the availability to go in this unknown direction as an individual. Later on, again, the inclination to inspire through expressing this direction. We talked about it previously, the channel of inspiration. And then continuing with the going back again. So no gate 10, but there's still the 57, 34, and 20. So to know to be busy in the now. And then channel of charisma again, moving in the now in order to survive. And then interestingly, the connection between the channel of awareness and the channel of charisma, speaking similar language of empowerment. And here the nodes are gonna be in 25th of October 2021, moving from the 6th line to the 2nd line already, yeah. And Uranus is gonna have its retrograde movement to 24th gate. Yeah, it was in gate 2, as I mentioned. I spoke of Neptune, perhaps I meant Uranus, moving into new innovative civilization, but it's going to retrograde again to gate 24, and along with Pluto, it's going to be for 84 days. So we had it for 198 days this year, 2020, and we're going to get again of this conditioning field of the mental pressure to think inside our head. And again, it's basically in order to bring efficient individual thinking. I don't want to say patterns to confuse with the logical patterns. It's bringing individual knowing, making the world efficient after the individual is brought his knowing. And in the 2034 context is the efficiency through movement. That the now is so absorbing that it can be highly efficient to simply survive through recognizing that there's only the now as a time. 84 days together with this channel of charisma. So we're going to have 84 days together of this melancholic, empowering, self-empowering energies. Individuality ahead, as I said. Yeah. I didn't change here the 2034 on the top left of the 6th line. It's going to be on the 2nd line and moving towards the 1st line. Yeah, so basically these energies of charisma, of expression, of availability of the individual for oneself within the thinking of oneself acoustically. You just hear the thoughts. This is this head plane. It's like so, like you with yourself, all this mind stuff, even the collective ones. Yeah. But anyway, it's in and out altogether anyway. So finishing this quarter of duality with the channel of awareness and the charisma, moving to preservation, custodianship, yeah, availability, receiving, again, it's awareness on the collectives, on the tribal splenic side, yeah, but the availability is being expressed for self-empowerment, so not for tribal support. Yeah, interesting, this movement. And later on the 57 coming back there again. So the awareness feeding both the sacral, the splenic awareness, both the sacral through the channel of preservation in the defense circuit, and the expression of individual knowing in the now, yeah, taking it in the context of the power to survive as a response, individual response mechanism, the power to survive as a tribe, in preserving the tribe through values, yeah, this available energy to do so. Yeah. Well, if you look also at our teachers, and I'm not talking how it's been taken to the mental plane, and the job to be with kids and all of that's been spoken, that's quite some job to be with these energies in order to educate. Splenically, I'm referring, not just how it's been taken mentally for good or bad, like any energy. And the movement from coming back again to awareness of charisma, and finishing at least for this slide with these quarters, because it's going to continue to, the wheel's going to turn and turn and turn again. Gate 10, so the channel of exploring one's convictions and awakening. So we've had initiation before, and what we've had all of this. So the not going to be together with the entire integration, but it's at least going to close this field through busy for oneself in the now. and the magnetic force of self-love. And also, again, attracting attention through self-love, and all of that within the thinking of acoustically on new things in order to relieve the ignorance of our acoustic plane, of our thoughts. On the background, I see a channel of exploration for those who, yeah, it catches my eye. I didn't change that. We're in the quarter of, we're ending it with quarter of relationships, of duality, yes. Quarter of duality. We've end this period of individuality ahead, 136 days of channel of charisma, 84 days with channel of charisma, where we channel of charisma with the awareness, the thinker, and how it's gonna impact one another, also through the children born, all through the conditioning field. And 2021, are you still here? Yeah, after all this awakening program and individuality ahead. The nodes on the 2034 is going to be the last time before 2027. The nodes, it's an 18 and something cycle, so after nine and a half years or so, or 9.3 perhaps years, that the nodes will shift back again to the 2034 or the 3420. So preparing for this individual stage in 2021. My chart, speaking, sharing, but for my own sake, a very closed integration field, sharing stories. This is my chart, born in 1858, the 19th of February 1984 in Jerusalem, Israel. So whatever I'm sharing curiously is for the sake of you going your own way, doing things for yourself. And whatever I sell materialistically is on that sake, and whatever pattern I judge, even if it means, again, you may be a pure tribal and do your shit tribally. Yeah. And having inside of me, to deal with these moving energies, where at many times part of me is saying is, all this sharing and stories, just, you don't care about all of that. But what to do? I have these energies, or the sharing that's looking, and okay, these stories, and now you're just with yourself, and how can you carry on sharing curiosity like that if you're just busy with yourself? How can you make money if you're busy with yourself and share and support through selling your message? And the judgment, the developing judgment of my design. Yeah. What is all this stuff? Integration, individuality, tribal stuff, ego, mental, sharing past stories. We've got the world to correct. So, yeah, I learned to accept it, and there's no other way within the moving energies. And through the transits, you can also see these. They're not actually conflicting, they're just different. That's it. Don't look for anything that's, well, you might look for anything that's not happening, but don't look for anything else than what's happening. That was another journey through the wheel. And death is coming. Seems to have been here, and is here to stay. Only how you deal with this pulse between life and death. As I said before, I am ready to die. There's nothing more for me to do in this life. Doesn't mean I will take my life, I will die, I will kill myself. Doesn't mean I will not be scared shit if I will face so-called take a close look at death. But at least as what I call the parasympathetic mind, the wise mind, the responsible mind is, yes, I am ready. Whether I like it or I don't. Many times my mind, whatever is, it doesn't like what's happening. But I still am ready. And I like that I don't like. And that, yeah, not trying to be any other human being than the human being you are, because there's no other way in that. And yes, I'm enlightened as enlightened can be, and I'm aware as aware can be, and there's no masks in that. Even if that is the mask. Individuality ahead. Need no proving. And I have a proof to bring. And stories. And a message of be like yourselves. Maybe you're not here to even look for that self. And it's fantastic. So individuality ahead. See you around.